Hey everybody, welcome to Cindy Certified Recipes. You know, we traveled around a lot, but I gotta tell you, the best chicken soup out there is from Carrabba'S Italian Grill. Their Sicilian chicken soup is so good, chock full of all that hand-pulled chicken. Unfortunately, there's not a Carrabba'S everywhere you go, but fortunately, I got their recipe some years ago, so I can make it at home anytime I want. So stick around, because today we're making that soup. Let's get started on that chicken soup. We're gonna add 3 celery stalks, and that's a rough dice, a bite-sized dice. Just gonna add that to a nice stock pot. And then we're gonna have 3 peppers, another bite-sized dice, and then 3 carrots, diced same way. Add that to the pot. And 3 russet potatoes, also diced. 2 cans of diced tomatoes, and I find when I buy diced tomatoes that they're a little chunky, and so I like to cut them up a little bit more so I don't get big old pieces of tomato in my soup. So these have actually been cut down quite a bit from what they say is diced tomato. That goes in the pot. And this is a large yellow onion, diced down nice and fine. I'll put all that in there. And then I have my pasture-raised chicken here. He goes in the pot. And we're gonna fill this up with water, about 1 inch to cover the chicken. This is a pretty big pot, so I'm gonna get another pitcher of water. There we go. Looks like it's going to take one more. I use an extra big pot today. Now it gets us on the stove. It's heavy. Okay, we have the pot on the stove. We're gonna set it to high. Wait for that to boil, and after it starts to boil, we're gonna be adding in our salt, pepper, garlic, and parsley. I'm gonna set the lid on here at a cant, so that way it won't boil over. There's less chance of it boiling over. And when I see it starts to boil, I'm gonna bring down the heat and add in our ingredients here. So it's come to a boil now. We're gonna take that lid off, turn the heat down, add in 4 chopped garlic cloves, this is about 1/2 cup of chopped flat leaf parsley. And we're gonna add in 2 teaspoons of salt to start and adjust that later. And also 2 teaspoons of fresh ground black pepper and adjust that later. If you've ever had this soup before, you'll know that it has a bit of heat to it. And the heat only comes from the black pepper. So we'll be adding quite a bit more of that later, but you can add that to taste. You can see our chicken in there. So now all the ingredients are in. And I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit more. Let that simmer for a couple hours. We want that meat falling off the bone. Cover that and let it simmer. All right, everybody, this chicken has been making all kinds of great smells throughout the house. It is time to take it out of the pot. Be very careful in this stage because you are dealing with a very, very hot chicken. And we're going to take it out. It's going to fall apart. That's what you want. And set it on a plate. Once you have all the pieces out, that's going to cool for at least 20 minutes so you can handle it. It is definitely falling off the bone. All right, that's all the pieces. And we're going to keep the heat on the pot and let it simmer. And then I'm going to taste it to adjust the salt and the pepper. Definitely needs both, which I expected. So I'm going to put in about a tablespoon salt. And a good generous tablespoon of my pepper. Remember, you want it on the hot side. That's how they have it in the restaurant. But again, if you're not wanting it spicy, you can make it however your taste buds like it. So as this cools, I'm going to put the lid back on this and bring that heat back up a little bit and let that simmer and get that stock just right. And then we'll come back to this chicken when it's cooled and start shredding that. Okay guys, while our chicken is still cooling over there and our broth is still simmering, I started some water for the pasta, Ditalini pasta. I'm gonna pour that in. Give it a good salt and a stir. That's going to take about 10 minutes till it's al dente. And we'll drain that. And it'll sit and wait till we've shredded that chicken and get it back in the pot, and then we'll put the pasta in the pot. All right, everybody, pasta's ready. It's al dente. I'm going to take it over and strain it, and then we're going to get on to shredding that chicken. Okay, everybody, we're back, and we're going to be shredding up that chicken that we've been waiting to cool down. And what you need is a plate to do the shredding on, and then another plate for the skins and the bone and all the stuff you're going to throw away, and then another plate for the meat we're going to save that's going to go back into the soup. So it's nice and cool now. You don't have to worry about burning your hands. And when I shred this for this, I like to keep the pieces shredded but not overly shredded. To me, finding nice big chunks in my soup is like a prize, so I like to keep them kind of on the chunky side. And two, once you get the shredded chicken into the pot, it'll fall apart a little more, so don't worry that you're leaving it too chunky. Look at all this shredded meat, you guys. It's gonna taste so good. In fact, if you like it super meaty, you can add in a few extra chicken breasts in there while you're cooking the chicken. Or legs, whatever you like. Got these super meaty breasts here. This was a 5.5 pound chicken, just so you have some reference size and meat. It smells so good, I can hardly wait to get this all put together. Look at all that meat. This is gonna be some good soup. And guess what? You can even save the wishbone for later and make a wish. Make some room on this plate, there's so much meat. Okay, we're getting down to the brass tacks here. Okay, look at that pile of meat. Man, oh man. So now I'm gonna throw away all that skin and bones and bring the pot over here and add the meat and add the pasta, and we'll have our soup. Here it is, everybody. The soup is coming together. So we're gonna take that off and put in all this beautiful chicken. So good. And then this is 2 cups of the cooked pasta. It's cooked al dente, but it's going to expand a little bit in the soup. And you can add more or less as you like. That's what I like to add. We're going to give that a nice stir. It's so pretty, and it looks so good. So now we're going to let this simmer a few more minutes on the stove, adjust the seasoning, and it's done.
So rich, and look at all that chicken. This soup is so hearty and full of flavor, you'll want to make it year-round. I hope you try it soon. And remember, if it's time-tested, top-notch ingredients, and the talk of the table, it's Cindy certified.